Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Genevieve Designs. So we are currently working in the album, the Lavender Frost Wanderlust Large Mini Album, and this is how far we've gotten so far. This is the paper collection that I'm using, Lavender Frost by Prima. And we're using the Wanderlust, the large, medium, and small in different little bits and pieces. These are available in my shop, and then I will have links below to the Lavender Frost. I'm not sure if it's still available, but if it is, there'll be links below. There's even an Amazon list specifically for this album, and it's the Lavender Frost Wanderlust list down there in my Amazon influencer page. There is also a YouTube playlist specifically for this mini album, and it is the Lavender Frost. And it will start from the introduction to the Wanderlust templates. These are printable templates. And then it will show you the supplies that I'm using, and then we'll go on to make the covers and so on and so forth. Okay, so we have gotten this far, and we haven't added the second layer, main base layer in just yet. So what I did was I'm doing kind of like each side, it's like a duplicate of the other. So you have to ignore that piece for a second. So this is what we've gotten so far, and it opens up like this. Well, we're doing the same thing on both sides. So I went ahead and did one side, and then we'll do the other side here on video. And the reason I had to, if you notice, there's a little strip here. I have to add a little strip over here too, because we needed to add a magnet back here, and it was peeking through. So that's okay though. I mean, it's totally workable. And we needed a magnet because I don't want this flopping around when it's actually in the book. So, anyway, so let me show you what we did, what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stick this back in the pocket so that I don't lose it. But what we're gonna do is we're going to add a pocket here to this page, so it opens all the way out like this. So this was the last video we did, but it opens up out like this, and then there's a pocket here. Right, so when you open it just like this, there's these two pages. So we're going to put a pocket here. So let me show you. So here it is opened up all the way on this side, right? And then we're going to close it, and then here it is opened up this way. So this is what we're going to make today. So it's a little pocket up here like that, and then it's a flip up here, and then there is a pocket here. Okay, well, I haven't made any inserts or anything like that. It's tax time right now, and I'm telling you what, it has been kicking my butt. Not only do I have my own taxes, I got my mom's taxes, and I'm sorry, but taxes take it out of me so bad. It takes all my creativity, it just sucks it right out of my body, and I hate it. So I've been struggling, but anyway, I've been really busy dealing with my taxes and my mom's taxes and all of that jazz, and dealing with her estate and everything like that. So again, there's been a big gap in my videos, and I apologize. I'm trying, I'm doing the best I can, you guys. But anyway, so let me show you what I printed out to make this little pocket here. Okay, so from the templates, from the large set of templates, whoops, I have printed off page number 4, which is main base layer 3. This is main base layer 3, and this is a long pocket. So I printed page number 4 onto patterned paper, one of the pattern papers from the collection, and then I printed it again onto a piece of white cardstock. On one side plain, it doesn't have a background design on it, it's just got the distressed edges, which all my templates have that. So I printed it just onto plain white cardstock on one side, and then on the back side, I printed the shades of color, which is also available in my shop, and we're using colors 10 and 11, 16 and 17, and I printed color number 17 on the back side. So all the other things that we're going to use are just scraps from my little crafty tray here. So let me move this out of the way, and let me show you how I cut my paper down. Since this is more geared towards beginners, so I wanted to make sure that I show you this, and you guys seem to really be appreciating me showing you how I cut my paper down. Now, since I did both, since I'm doing 2 pages, I've already done one, and then we're going to do another. You need to print 2 of all of this. Okay, so you need actually 4. So 2 like this, and then 2 like this. If you're wanting to do the same thing, duplicate it on each side. And so I do suggest too that you watch the whole video first before you start working on this, and then come back and go with me step by step if you're going step by step with me. The first thing I want to note is I printed on my pattern paper upside down, but because I printed the plain template onto here, it does not matter. So technically this is right side up for the pattern paper, but this is right side up for the template itself, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to show you the right side up for the pattern paper. So basically, this is a 12 by 12 sheet of pattern paper, and I cut this part off, so this is 8.5, and then I cut the bottom inch off, which makes it 11, and that is my standard paper size. If you're A4, then you cut yours down to A4, and you make sure your printer is printing out A4 size. You don't have to change any settings if your printer is or if you live in a country that is naturally A4 size. Just cut your paper down to A4 size, and then the only thing you might have to do is unclick fit to page, because you want to see the image. So if it cuts it off halfway like this, then you need to unclick. But that's something you need to experiment, not on the pretty paper. Experiment with something else before you start printing onto pattern paper. But if you followed me up to this point, then you already know what yours is going to do. So those are the 2 pieces that I cut off of my pattern paper, and then I've got them stored in my scrapper keeper sleeve here that I made. I've got a video, I'll link that down below, of how I made my scrapper keeper with my little sleeves. Okay, so that is how I cut my paper down. So I'm going to have to refer back to what I've already done, because the reason I went and did it first is I really wanted to make sure that I knew what I was doing because I couldn't quite figure out exactly how I wanted to do it. So that's kind of why I went ahead and did one side, and then now we're going to do the other. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do for both of these pieces, I'm going to get my paper trimmer out, and I'm going to trim the bottom part off, just like that. So I've got that piece, and I'm going to put this in my crafty tray, which, by the way, I keep getting asked about this. This is my prototype that I'm working on. Here's the other piece that I cut from the page I already did. So this is the this is part of the workstation unit thingy that I am working on for you guys. So this is kind of a prototype, and I am just working through all the different little kinks and things, but this is what this is. There isn't a template out there for this right now. I've been getting asked a lot about that. So, but that's where all my scrap papers have been going into that crafty tray. So then I'm also going to do the same thing to this piece. I'm just going to cut this bottom away. There's no point in leaving it on there. Cut that away and put that in my tray. Okay, so for both of these pieces, we are going to cut away the pocket. So we're going to leave the main base layer 3 intact, and we're going to cut away this pocket. So we're going to leave all the tabs on these. So, and remember, on some of the tabs you won't see all 3 edges of the tab. That is okay. So you have the option of either leaving that on as a tab or cutting it off, either way, but I do that on purpose so your printer's not messing up. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I'm going to cut the pocket away. And I'm going to put both of these in my prototype workstation that I can't show you right now. Okay. And I think, so this, I've got this upside down. This one, there's a bird on there. That's why it matters. Otherwise, it wouldn't really matter if it was just floral, but there's writing and a bird. But honestly, the only part that's really going to matter is this top part, because we're going to flip over the bottom part to make a pocket. So, the first thing I want to do for both these is I'm going to get my actually, I'm going to get my little garbage bin, and I am going to tab all these corners. This, my little garbage tray, is a printable. This one is the small keepsake box. I have a video where I made a divided tray out of the small keepsake box, and it's done the same way. I didn't make this on video, but it's done exactly the same way, so I'll link that below if you want to see how I made that. Okay, you'll notice I didn't even cut it right on the line. You see that? So it doesn't matter, just as long as you leave a tab for both the pocket and the main base layer 3. So, okay, so we've done both of those. Now I'm going to take, this is an EK Tools scoreboard, and I'm going to score all 4 lines on both pieces. And you'll notice once again that I'm not buttoning it up to that line up there because, or you know, button it up to that ledge, because I don't always score, I don't always cut straight. So this way, if I line up the top line and the bottom line to that black line that I added, then, oops, got a hair, then it will score perfectly every time. So that is what those black lines are there for. I put them there, they don't come like that. And I'm going to do both. These templates are handmade. Before I turn them into a printable, they're handmade, so they're not, you know, manufactured perfect. Does that make sense? It's not like you can go to the store and buy this template and it be like, you know, you bought it already pre-made. Does that make sense? It's meant to be handmade. It's meant for you guys to hand make your own mini albums. That is the whole point. That's the whole reason I started making these in the first place. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and I'm going to prep everything like that. And then I'm going to burnish everything down. This is a Teflon bone folder. Burnish it all down like that. And then I'm just going to open it up, and I'm going to do the same to this. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to take this piece here, and up here at the top, I'm going to cut this tab off. I was debating on whether or not to use this one or this one. That's why the tabs were left, all 4 tabs were left, but I'm going to cut this tab off. So I'm just going to put it in here, line it up on that edge of my paper trimmer, and I'm just going to slice that off. Okay, so from this point down, I'm going to cut this in half. I think I'm going to cut it at 4. So I'm going to line up this edge here at 4, and I'm going to cut. So this piece, this bottom piece we just cut off, is going to be turned around and it's going to be used as a pocket this way. Okay? So that's how that piece is going to get used. And then this piece, we are going to use this as a top pocket. It probably doesn't make sense. Yeah, it does. I can show you. This is this piece right there. Okay? So, I'm going to move that out of the way for a minute. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my first let me tab these corners. Oh, you know what? I might not even need, I'm trying to remember, do I even need these flaps? I don't think I do. Matter of fact, let me get my paper trimmer back out. This is why I told you to watch it all the way through, because I may mess up. Even though I did it already once, I may mess up. I am going to cut, these tabs off, except I'm going to go literally just, I got something under my fingernail. So I'm literally just going to go right on the inside of that score that we made, just literally right on the inside, just barely cutting anything off more than the score. So same on this side. I'm going to go ahead and let me find a straight line somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And the reason we're going on the inside of the score this time is because we want it to be able to close. So between here and here, since this is going to be folded over, we need to give it that extra bit of room. So, okay. So now I think we're good. So I'm going to get, first I'm going to use this paper punch, and I'm also going to use this. So this is a Martha Stewart floral lace paper punch, but use whatever you have. If you don't happen to have one of those, don't worry. And I'm also going to use a 1-inch, this is an EK Tools, a 1-inch hole punch, and I'm going to do like a thumb pull. I'm going to try to get it in the center, but I am terrible at that, so I don't think that's the center, but good enough. Okay, so there's the top. And so on the bottom here, I'm going to use this edge punch, and I'm going to do this bottom edge of this little pocket. I hope I'm doing this right. Okay. I did the one side, and then I kind of took a lunch break. And so I'm trying to remember if I did it, how I did it, if that makes sense. Let me double check it. That's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and use Distress Oxide Walnut Stain and a blending tool, and I'm going to ink these edges up. Just like that. Okay, so then this piece here, this white piece and purple, we got white on one side, purple on the other. We are going to cut this piece to, not including the tab, so let me flip that tab over. Not including that tab, we're going to get the paper trimmer back up. And we're going to cut this piece to, let me check my measurements here. Double check, triple check, quadruple check. Oh wait, we're not going to use my paper trimmer. Hold on, no paper trimmer. See, I'm glad I looked. We're actually going to get the scoreboard out. And I am gonna butt it up to this side here like this, and I'm gonna use my ruler, and I'm gonna place it at 4 3/4 on the scoreboard here. And I'm gonna tear it. Okay, so this I'm gonna put in my stash of things to use. And then I think, once again, I think we are going to cut these two tabs off. Okay. Yes. And once again, we need to go right inside that score there. Just barely. And since I messed up on my scoring, I can fix it right here. Let's see if we got it both sides correct. We do. Are good enough. I can always trim off after. Okay, so I'm halfway wanting to go ahead and put this pocket. Let's go ahead and ink all of these edges up. Oh, and you know what else? I need to ink this top edge up. Let's use the back side of this. I'm just going to ink up just about the first inch, just a little. And I'm going to go ahead and ink the... Whoa, what was that? I have no idea what that was. I'm going to ink up this bottom edge. Okay, so it's going to kind of go like this. Also, this is going to be the insert. So these are part of the tags that are in the set. So remember in the beginning, I printed both sheets of tags and then I cut them all out. So there was 2 square ones like this. So that's kind of where I based my pocket from. So this is one of the ones. Again, there was 2. If you printed out both sheets, there was 2 of the same tag. So this one's going to go here in this pocket. So you'll need that as well. And then we're going to need a piece of book page, just because I want to kind of disguise what we got going on here. And then we're also going to need a piece of the trim that we colored purple, and you guys have seen that a couple times already in the video. So I just took, what's it called, Dusty Concord, and put it on the trim. But we're only going to use a little bit, so I'm going to 1, 2, 3 little humps there, like that, and then I'm going to put that in my crafty tray that has fabric scraps in it. Okay, so there we go, we got that. And before I forget, I'm going to use the back side of this pocket again, and I'm just going to kind of ink that up just a little. And I think I'll go ahead and flip this over, ink this up. So I'm about to get my sewing machine out, you guys, so just hang tight. Maybe we should attach these all together first. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some art glitter glue. This is some art glitter glue. And by the way, this is a piece of old book page. It's actually one of the scraps that I got out of my little crafty tray from whatever we did before. So it's not, I didn't grab a new piece. It was just in the scraps. So I'm going to lay that on there like that. And whoops! I didn't mean to put the glue there. Shoot! Shoot, shoot! Dagnammit. Well, I'm going to have to shoot. Well, see, that's frustrating when I do stuff like that. Let me go ahead and peel it back up. You're not going to see that, so it's not that big a deal. I wanted it to be, I want the glue down here towards this ripped edge. So all I did was rip that edge of the page and then inked it up. No big deal. And it's just going to match this exactly. There we go. Make sure that doesn't stick. So we got that. Go ahead and... The reason I'm like slightly annoyed at myself is because we're going to stick a magnet in here. So I'm trying to... I did it the wrong way on the first one. So now I'm trying to do it the right way. So I just put a little bit of glue on the edge there because I didn't do that on the other one, and it didn't get in the center because I was trying to hold it and run it through my sewing machine. Anyway, it was just ridiculous. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to use the zigzag stitch, and then I'm going to shorten it, I think, to make it a little smaller than usual. I don't know if I changed that one. Did I change that one? Huh. I didn't think I did. Let's give it a whirl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run a stitch just to kind of grab everything, to grab the trim and to grab the, what's that called? the old book page. Oh, can't even see. I'm trying to grab the trim and the old book page. So I'm just gonna really quick just do one swipe down. My specific sewing machine is linked in my Amazon list, but it's specifically, if you want to check it out, it's linked in my Amazon list. All of that information is down below in the description box. Okay, so then I need to put magnets. So before I put the magnet on and then I did the sewing and I had to do some dodging around, so I didn't want to do that again. So let me make sure where I'm in the same general area. Okay, so I'm going to grab my magnets. You're going to need a couple. These are the ones from the Magnet Baron. I will link that down below. These are the bigger ones. These are the 5/16 of an inch. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on the back of this and then just kind of try to find my center here. I'm going to squish it down just a little bit better. And again, if it's not in the center, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. So I just stuck it behind that book page there, like that. So this part, this piece, is going to get glued down right here. So it's not going to be as noticeable as you might think it would be. It's going to be hidden just a little. So let me go ahead and from this line right here, I'm going to come down 1/2 inch. I'm going to come down 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to mark it along the edges here, right there. I think that's what I did. Yeah. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to glue, just barely glue these edges because we're going to run this through our sewing machine as well. Just like that. I'm not going to glue the bottom. So then I'm going to take this, I'm going to match it up to those 2 little marks that I made because that's where we want it to be situated. Like that. I'm going to ink this up again. And then, so there's that. So now I need to figure out exactly where I'm going to be sewing here. So I think I'm just going to come up a little bit a ways from here. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Let me grab my sewing machine. Whoops, don't go anywhere, magnets. Whoops, I didn't turn my sewing machine off. So the same stitch, zigzag, we're going to go down, over, up. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to try to go to as close to the edge as possible. Flip it around. And I'm going to go straight across this bottom. I'm just kind of guessing where I should go. Back up the top. Okay. I think that's all the sewing we're going to do. Alright, so we got that. Looking good. I am going to go ahead, I think, and cut these strings off. Or most of them. Okay, let me test my, oh, here it is. So that's gonna go, yep, perfect. Good. So I just sewed about an inch from there. I don't know if you can see it that well because, oh, there you go. Not an inch, about, that's not an inch, geez. That's maybe a half an inch from the punched edge, just to give enough space for this little pocket here. This little not pocket, this little tab. Okay, so now I think what we'll do, two things. This is ready. We're gonna bring this over. We're gonna attach this down. Okay, so again, here's what we're looking at the front right here. So we want to open this up like this first part, and we're working on this page right here. So we're gonna attach this down by that tab that we left, by this little tab that we left. We're going to attach it down, and we're just going to use glue. We're not going to use score tape. We're just going to use the art glitter glue right now. Okay, and then I'm going to lay it on here, match it up to this top as best I can. Okay. Make sure it's not going over any score marks anywhere. Perfect. Right, so that's why we took just a smidge off of each side so that it'll close nicely without, you know, getting bunched up there. Right, so we've got that. Whoa, I'm going to burnish that down. We're going to be doing something about that in just a minute. Don't panic. All right, so the same with this one. I'm going to go ahead and tab these two corners here. And I'm almost positive this is just a pocket, that I didn't do anything fancy. So what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we are going to attach, whoops. We're going to attach this bottom tab to the page first. And the reason we're doing it that way is I want to put the magnet under there as well before we attach it all down. It's just easier. Alright, so I'm going to line this up at the bottom. Okay. So now we're going to need another magnet. Just going to slide one off the top there, and it grabs on. Make sure, I hope I got this right. Ooh, it's close. Ooh, you're going to be able to see it a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it down on the side that it's supposed to be. Put a little dab of glue there, and I'm going to kind of scooch this underneath this part here. And without laying it down, I'm just going to let it grab onto it, just like that. Right. Oh, it's not too bad. It's right on that edge. That's okay. It is not too bad. Alright. It's not too bad at all. I bet you I can scoot it down just a little bit. Perfect. You might be able to see it just a little, but how often are you going to be looking down on that pocket, right? So there it is right there. So now I'm going to fold these two tabs in, and we're going to attach them down. Same glue. Just like that. Perfect. Next thing is I want to cover this up. So, in my paper scraps, I showed you this a while back where I took that same floral lace punch and I punched it out different ways to see how small I could go with a strip of paper to make like a trim, like a paper trim, right? So having these made it really easy for me to figure out how I could cover up this little hinge. So I picked this 1 3/4 inch strip of paper, and I cut a piece of coffee stained paper down to fit the width, and I cut it down to 1 3/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to punch each one of these sides of this. Actually, I'm going to fold it first. This is, I found some, Mom had coffee dyed some paper. I found some in her stuff, and she had misprinted some stuff on the back, and it looks like it's my top note on the back. So I've got quite a bit. I've got a little stack here. Is this my top note? I don't remember. No, I don't know. Yeah, this is my top note. So she had misprinted a few things. So I'm trying to use the pieces that she misprinted. And anyway, beside the point. So I'm going to take this in my paper punch. It's like I got distracted there. And I'm going to stick this in here, and I'm going to punch both sides of this little strip of paper. And then I'm going to cover up that little hinge that we've kind of left exposed. This one right here. You could do the same with washi tape if you have a big enough strip of washi tape. I didn't even think about that. So I flipped it over and did both sides just like that. And then I want to ink it a little. Let me get this back over here so I don't lose it. So that turned out to be a really convenient thing to do. It'd be really useful. So I'm going to stick that back in my tray. And then this will go right here, just like that. So I'm going to try to ink it just a bit. And one of the mistakes I made on the other one was gluing it down kind of funky. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to make that mistake. At least I hope. So I'm just going to run glue all along the back. Uh-oh. I need to clean my little thingy. I always think it's terrible that my art glitter glue bottle is so dirty looking, but you know, I use a lot of ink and whatever, and so whatever, right? So it gets all over everything. I was watching somebody not too long ago, and theirs looked worse than mine, and I'm like, thank goodness I'm not the only one that is sloppy like that. Because I was starting to get like a complex about it, you know? That I couldn't keep my glue bottle clean. It's so weird. Okay. So I put a good amount of glue. This dries clear, so if it seeps out, you're fine. So where I folded it in half there, oh, I should not have put so much glue. Let's see if I can work that out. You might be able to see my little swirlies. So that's one of the things I didn't do on the other page, but I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. I didn't put that much glue on the other page, but I'm not even sure you can see my little swirlies. I'll hold it up in just a second. Put my art glitter glue up. Whoops. So you see my little glue swirls? But hopefully that won't be too bad. Okay. So I'm going to fold that back on itself. Oops, it's a little big. Daggone it. I didn't catch that. Okay. So hopefully that doesn't dry too bad. But it hid that purple little strip there. And now it looks like a clean finished, like meant to do that kind of thing. Okay, so there's the pocket. So here's the other one on this side. Oh, do I still need to trim it down just a little? We'll have to see. So here's the other one on this side, and I ripped this part. I don't know how. I glued it back down, but this whole thing ripped because I glued it down funky. But you can't see any of my glue marks either, so, you know, I guess it's either whatever you want to do. But it looks fine. Either way, if you're going to look that close, well, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I need to fix this. This is bothering me. It's like, it's just slightly crooked, but that will bug me when I open it up. Alright, so let's work on this little tag. What do I do with it? There it is. And I'm going to grab, was it this one I used? I guess so. No, I didn't. I used this one. At least I think I did. Or this one. Whatevs. I used one of these. I'm going to back this up with this purple paper that we used to sop up the ink when we made the ribbon trims. And when I made this last one, this last little bit, I did the same thing. There wasn't that much ink left, but I'll keep that for sopping up next time. I keep putting marked glitter glue up, and I need to just hang on to it. It's literally, I'm just going to go around the edge. All the way around the edges. I'll put a good amount of glue. You wonder, how do I get stuff everywhere? I get it all over myself. There's no direction to this paper, so I'm just going to put it on here however. Yeah, I'm going to try to line it up. One less cut, I guess. So I'm going to flip it over, burnish it down like this. I don't think we need any more glue now. So I'm going to trim this out real quick. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my corner rounder. This is the We Are Memory Keepers. I'm going to do the 1/4 inch side and trim those up and ink both sides up. Okay, so I think, what did I use back here? I think I used one of the reddish hole reinforcements on the front and a hole punch. Flip it over, and I'm going to use a brown on this side, like that. That's just a regular office hole punch, nothing fancy at all. And then, see, doesn't that look cool? It just looks cool all by itself, if the camera will focus. See, and they're pretty. They're so pretty. And then there's the back side, and it's got the note paper on it, so you can journal and put your picture on the back. And then I've got a piece of seam binding. This is just the purple seam binding. It's been crinkled and whatnots. And I'm going to lay it on here. I'm going to try to anyway. And I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher stapler, but you could use whatever stapler you have. You don't have to use a fancy mini one. It's just a little mini stapler. Then I'm going to cut the excess off. That might be, I might have cut too much, but that's okay. So then this goes in here. So I was trying to keep that insert flatter, so that it wouldn't cause too much bulk. So that's why I decided to use the staples. But doesn't that look super cute, right? So there's both of those inserts. So the next thing we need to do is, well, two things. We're going to add 2 more magnets. One's going to be up here. So now I'm going to add a magnet here, underneath here. So what I'm going to do is Oh, that one's way up. Okay, which is good. I mean, that's okay, because you can see now what I was talking about, why I had to hide it. Do you see it right there? Right there? So that's where it's attaching to this other one we just added. So that's why I added this extra little piece. So I'll show you, we'll do that in just a second, but let's go ahead and add this magnet. So I attached it down, and now I'm going to draw like a half circle around the bottom of it, just real quick. Take that off there. Oh, we do need the glue. Shoot. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue right there where I trace that circle. And we're going to put that down. I'm also going to grab a piece of Scotch tape, plain old Scotch tape, and I'm going to cover over top of it just a little. Just like that. Yeah, we definitely need the glue. I don't know why I thought we didn't need any more glue. So now I'm just going to kind of hold this piece. So this piece, this was a scrap left over from the cover. Whoops. The insert for this envelope that's stuck here in the inside cover, the little hidden pocket, the insert from here, there was a leftover piece of this in my little crafty tray. And that's what I used, and I didn't even cut anything off of it. I just literally used the strip that was left. So if you've been following along, that's what that is, but I'll give you kind of a roundabouts real quick. So the width of this, and I tore one edge and I left the other edge, and then I inked one. So this ends up being about 1 3/8 wide. And then I'm gonna mark how wide this way it needs to be. And I'm just gonna trim that off and then test it out real quick. Maybe just a little more. So we're gonna tuck it in there behind there. That's how we're gonna fix this little boo-boo that I made with the magnets. So since I've already got one done, I'm going to match that up. See, I just tucked it in there behind there. Now I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to run a little bit of glue right underneath that pocket. Maybe right on the edge here as well. And I think I'm going to run a little bit of glue along this little edge here because it is just paper. Maybe I'll do that on both sides. That little strip was just paper, so I don't want it to get like torn or anything. Now that might be the last of the glue. Right, so now we've hidden that magnet. Can't see it, but it's still a pocket. And the magnet doesn't get in the way at all. Ooh, I wonder what's going to happen here. Oh, they're okay. They're not trying to grab each other, which is good. They're not in the same spot, so that's helpful. That's nice. All right, so we're going to add one more magnet. Okay, so we got a magnet here. We got a magnet here, keeping this closed, right? We got a magnet here. So that's 3 magnets so far. What's this? What we got there? So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to add one more. And that's going to be, where's that going to be? That's going to be on the back side here. So we're not going to glue this one down. We are just going to let it attach. And then we're going to put a piece of tape over top of it. Maybe not that big of a piece of tape. Just like this. And that is just because I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. So there's one on this side as well. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing on each one of those sides, but that way we know that there needs to be a magnet there, right? So it opens like this. So it keeps these closed, and it also keeps these closed, right? And it also keeps these closed. Okay. Let me check this again. See, you don't see as many of the whirlies as you did from the glue, but I will ink it up just a little bit more. So what do you guys think? So now we have 2 matching pockets on either side. Okay, so I also wanted to point out real quick before we go is that we have not added that much bulk. I know we still don't have inserts. I know we don't have an insert here or here. We don't have inserts here. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing in these spots. Also not sure what we're going to do here, but there's no insert in here. I know, but we're going to try to restrain ourselves. I don't know how good we're going to do and keep that from getting too out of hand. So this is going to go here, right? So it's not too bad currently, because this one, the first page we did, which is beautiful, I love it, is really bulky. So that's why we're trying to keep it flat. We're trying to keep the center flat. And it's not too bad. I'm not doing too bad. Will it focus? Come on, focus for me. There we go. So I'm not doing too bad, right? I think it's pretty okay. It'll be okay. And then at the end, we'll do a closure. We'll have to figure out. But I mean, you could stop there and not do anything to this page or those and still have a beautiful album. But I can't do that either. Okay, so there's where we are. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I hope you guys give it a try. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring that bell. Also, now you need to like drop down a menu on that bell and turn your ring on. I don't know why they make it so complicated, but apparently you have to have your ring on in order to be notified. And then here's a link to my Etsy shop, but be sure you are logged into your account before you make a purchase. The shades of color and the Wanderlust printable templates, all of that is available in my Etsy shop. And there should be other videos here on the screen that you might enjoy watching. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.